can you say about this young man other than he is one of the most determined, spiritually suited men for Congress that we've had in a long time from the inner city? Ladies and gentlemen, David Torres, who has had a career in the insurance and sales and financial services industry, as well after leaving college, began as a partner with the ambulatory unit, has been serving the inner city for as long as he's been alive. And I want to introduce to some and present to others a young man who understands the love of God, the love of country, and the duty to have to both of them. None other than David Torres of Philadelphia, PA. Good evening, sir. It's a tremendous honor and joy to have you on the program today.
Thank you, and God bless. It's a pleasure to be here.
David, first and foremost, you could do just about anything you set your mind to. Why would you pursue a career for Congress?
Well, actually, watching some of the changes, the loss of Christianity when it comes to the government, schools, the attack on Christians, the attack on churches, the attack on family values, the loss of the respect for the nuclear family, and the left with all its attacks and allowing abortions, just to a point where once I lost my son to the opiate crisis, something inside of me said, it's time, and I was praying on it a lot, and I decided it's a battle that needs to be fought.
A battle indeed. My condolences to you and your family in regards to that. And the sense of the opiate crisis, a lot of individuals are suffering across the country. What remedies do you have that you would support from Congress?
Well, I think that, first of all, our basic values have to come back. The opiate crisis, it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
I was blessed to be able to understand the crisis that was going on, even when it hit home. Sometimes you don't even notice what's happening, and it's right underneath your own roof.
Yeah.
But what happens is there's a whole effect between one individual in the family who becomes addicted. For example, it could be a father who is the main income receiver for the family, gets hurt, goes to the doctors, has a prescription for Oxycontin for 60 days. Next thing you know, he's addicted. He's taken off of it, sent back to work, and starts substituting that drug that he's addicted to with what's in the streets. And his family loses. They lose their job. They lose the home. Crisis in the family gets bad. That's just one example. Then there's people at home who go through changes, and it's not one size fits all. I was blessed to be able to run a drug and alcohol program, so I know that we got to get back to the basics of treatment, and we don't have that anymore. Congress and the government has ignored the crisis, and they're putting band-aids on it. We need to get back to short-term rehab, long-term rehab, and bringing in family groups and counseling and support services.
You know, everyone focuses on the individual. Very few people see the whole complexity of focusing on the family. It's not just the individual who's using drugs who needs that kind of attention, but he's hurt a lot of people, or she's hurt a lot of people in that particular process, and everyone needs the intervention necessary to be a support, not an enabler. Am I correct in that regard?
Absolutely correct. But there's a lot that has to be involved. There's a lot of pain that happens, and it affects, depending on the age of the child. He may be used to his father, or she may be used to her father and her parents attending school dances or school games and team playing, etc. All of a sudden, that isn't there anymore, and you're struggling, and that affects the entire family or the nuclear family. And we have to come in as Christians, come out and see when they need support, and come out and talk to and counsel people and get the right treatment programs for the entire family. It's not one person that's ever affected. And until we can get the family support structure along with the treatment right, we're never going to accomplish anything with the opioid crisis.
We're just making a lot of pretty paintings, and there's none effect with it. The whole idea that you're in Philadelphia, PA, you're in the inner city, you know the heartbeat of the country is in the inner city, and the heart is in decay at this particular juncture because there are a number of leaders that are supporting Black Lives Matter and defunding the police. I wanted to get your thoughts and your opinions on that.
Well, it's simple. To me, it's simple. God made man in his image. He didn't make black, he didn't make white, he didn't make just one particular group. Him in his image. And we need to get back as Christians and say, no, all lives matter.
Yeah.
Female, male, whichever, whatever is, yes, a black life lost is as devastating to family as a white or Hispanic or Korean or Indian. Everyone gets affected. Everyone feels the pain. Not to take anything away from the suffering of the individuals to get to this point, but we've come a long way, and we need to support everybody. I think all lives matter, and I do not believe that defunding police is an answer. The perfect example is Chicago, when they had the shooting at the funeral. If you look at the cameras, the people were running away. Who was running towards the shooting? The police. So who's going to run?
I said that earlier tonight on this very show. The leftists always talk about sending some mental health guy or gal from Berkeley or from UMass into the hood at 3 a.m. to bring down the heat. Are you kidding me? That's just not going to work. It's not going to work.
I tell people, if you have a home invasion and God forbid something happens, a woman gets raped, a child gets hurt, etc., you're going to what? Call 911, leave a message, and have counseling come the next day? That doesn't make any sense.
It's not there. It's not there. It's not logical.
No.
Because we were watching Philly at 3 o'clock in the morning on Fox News a little while ago, and there was looting and there was rioting. Let me ask you, sir, who did that really hurt and who did that really help? The rioting and the looting.
It hurts no one. It absolutely hurts no one. You're rioting, you're looting in the area where you live, so it's hurting the community. If you have a Save-A-Life, a Walmart, a pharmacy that's local, that takes care of you, that gives you your medicine, that takes care of your food deliveries, etc., and you burn and you break it down and you steal from them, they're not there anymore. Some may not come back. So you're hurting yourself. By allowing this to happen, you're hurting yourself. And it's going to take, I'll be honest with you, it's going to take, to me, the community itself and the Christian community to stand up and say, enough is enough.
Now, you and I applaud you, and I truly love you for this. And I got a chance to meet you through Pastor Fisher up in Philadelphia there. I love you guys because of your great love for Jesus Christ. And you and I agree that it's missing. Every recipe needs a special ingredient. That special ingredient is Jesus. What happened when the government took away the churches during this pandemic?
Well, if you think about this happened back in 1920s, and I keep telling people it's repeating. History is repeating itself. It happens with the Germans and the Jews and the Germans in France when they were taken away and not letting churches go on. What's happening now, they took out of the schools. They don't allow people to pledge allegiance. They don't have the prayers in school anymore. If a child wants to have a prayer before taking an exam, he or she is not allowed anymore. You tell churches that they can only gather in a certain group, but they can't sing and they can't worship and they can't. This is what happened before when they started this, and this is what's going on now. How are you going to tell me that liquor stores are open, drug corners are still running, abortion centers are open? There's been more than 50 million babies aborted in this country since they passed a law for legal abortions. How are you going to tell me that all this is going on and you've broken up the family? You've told back in the 60s and 70s, if you tell and don't have the father figure at home, we're going to give you more food stamps and welfare. The government has totally taken Christianity away, and we need to bring it back, because without Christianity, we've got nothing.
Amen.
It says in everything you look, every monument that they're trying to tear down, every dollar bill, every coin, in God we trust. And they want that taken away. On Christmas, you can't say Merry Christmas? That doesn't make any sense. Happy holiday. No, it's Christian. I'm celebrating the day of my Christ, like it or not.
There you go. David, there are some people who are going to be sitting back here tonight and they're listening to you and they are inspired, but they've heard these inspirations from others before. They've heard people talk about religious liberty. We need to fight. We need the Constitution. We need to bring Jesus back. And then the cameras go off and nothing happens. Are you planning to do something when the cameras go off tonight, sir?
I'm planning on doing something, and we got things in motion now. I'm actually challenging every religion that's out there. I don't care if you're Baptist, Pentecostal, Catholic, Jewish fundamentals. It doesn't matter. I'm challenging every church that Labor Day is the one that's coming up. We should take. Now, they close down the cities. They tell you can't gather. I challenge every single church across this country to take their pews and their folding chairs outside with your doors. Nothing in the Bible says you lock your doors and you don't come outside. You need to take your message outside, put the chairs outside, and let's have service so that when you're walking every 5 or 6 blocks, you're hearing worship to the Lord. That's what I'm challenging everybody for, even when these cameras go off.
David Torres, there are people who are saying, that's wonderful, that's the spirit, that's what we've been waiting for from a leader. But you're in Philadelphia, and God knows you got that Trump sign behind you. I'm quite sure you're going to rip it down as soon as the interview is over in Philadelphia.
No. This is my office stays up.
I got to ask you 2 things real quick. Number one, you're talking about Labor Day weekend. Do you have something in place that you're going to be doing in Philly that people can follow? And then secondly, you are pro-Trump. Are there other people in Philadelphia that you're hearing who are saying, I'm pro-Trump too?
Yes. I'm hearing it from even Buddhist churches and priests that I've met up with, that I've even visited their temple, where I visit them a year ago and 2 years ago, and now when I've gone back and I've stayed in contact with them, they are literally, the Buddhist temples have switched their parish and their people to Republicans in support of Trump. We have Latinos that are out here, and we got Latinos for Trump information that's been going on, and we're spreading it. And we also have a lot of Baptist and Protestant churches that we're reaching out to. This Thursday on my radio show, you're going to be a guest, and I've already announced it. We're bringing churches together, and we're going to have in here, and I'm trying to get as many pastors, information, any Christian line that we can have to spread the word out, and let's keep communicating, let's keep talking, and let's make this challenge across the country and show that we're going to take our government back. We are the people. We're the ones that you're supposed to be working for. We don't listen to you. You listen to us. And this is the way things are going to be from now on. This is nonsense that they're telling us that I can't open up a church. I have a cross, and I know I promised you that I made by hand with scraps of wood that I hang in front of my porch, and I refuse to take it down. And every day I change the message on the cross. Be my neighbor. In God's image, all man's the same. I put a message out every day, and I put it out there, and I refuse to let the cross come down. I don't care what the weather is. It stays up, and it's going to stay up until we get back what we need.
Now, I just want to make another announcement tonight because I am in full support of this activity, and we're going to recruit pastors. I guarantee it. I'm looking right at you tonight, America. Your church will be participating in this Labor Day weekend. So if you had planned on doing something else, plan on doing this instead. You know, the beaches are going to be closed, the carnival's closed, all that stuff is closed, and you can't even have a barbecue with 400 people in the middle of the street in D.C. anymore. So you might as well do this. But in this announcement I want to make, and I have great pride and great love for this particular announcement. Number one, this young man right here, David Torres, will be bringing his television show, An Hour with Dave, USA LA Media, to TECN TV. And his first show, we're going to work on making it this Thursday. We might as well, since I'm going to be there. So thank God for you tonight, sir, for agreeing to come on our show and also agreeing to become a part of our network. We appreciate you and gratefully look forward to the future with you. But also, this particular network, TECN TV, will be doing everything it can to promote worship on Labor Day weekend. This coming Labor Day. And this man right here and Pastor Fisher. Is Pastor Fisher with you tonight?
Yes, he is.
Bring him into the... See, don't be playing. Don't be playing. Get on this camera, young man.
He can't leave me hanging out there by myself. I'm glad you did. I have never let you out there.
See, if you're gonna make me go to work, I gotta make you go to work.
I don't consider none of this work when it comes to doing things like this. This is not work. This is what we're supposed to be doing.
I just want to do a quick cameo with Pastor Fisher because people need to see the men and women who are actually making it happen. There you go. Pastor Fisher, David Torres, these two men right here are responsible for America going back to worship on Sunday, this official Labor Day weekend. God bless you. Now get out of here. No, Pastor Fisher, he will be bringing his sermons to TECN TV on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock from now on too. So thank you so much. God bless you, man. David Torres.
Don't forget, this is a challenge for all churches, all denominations, all across the country. Join us, and if even churches outside the United States, to show solidarity in our Christian brothers and sisters here in this country.
David Torres, we want you to win in Philadelphia. What do people need to do right now to help you win in Philadelphia?
Call anyone you know. If you have relatives in Philadelphia, you have distant relatives, call them up. Call your churches. Have your church leaders call the churches here. Back up the 2nd Congressional District. Get as many votes out. It doesn't matter what party you're with. Democrat, Republican, Independent. It does not matter. In November, everyone can vote. And this is not a vote for a party. This is a vote for Jesus and Christianity and taking our country back.
There you go. David Torres, we love you, man. Thank you so much for being with us tonight and all the great news. And we look forward to you coming back on our program. This is not going to be the last time. I'm looking forward to being there with you on Thursday. God bless you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen,
amen, my brother.
David Torres, ladies and gentlemen, that's the fire. Oh my God, that's the fire missing in America. Can you imagine when we light the torch? Lady Liberty will never be the same. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more of the best in urban conservative talk. We got to take a commercial break. When we come back from the commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, I will be bringing you Muriel Bowser, one of the weakest mayors in the world, admitting that she cannot enforce the coronavirus edicts or even the simple laws on the books in the District of Columbia. That's a Black Lives Matter mayor for you. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Have you ever wondered what goes into a good cup of coffee and just what does that even mean? Well, I'm excited about this one because we're here at Lion Coffee with Roastmaster Sam Shank to find out.
For a good cup of coffee, you really need to stick with Arabica because Robusta really doesn't have any of the flavor that Arabica coffee has. When coffee arrives to our roasting facility, it's still raw. It's in the green state. It doesn't have any of the flavor of coffee until we roast it. The more